morning. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for Tuesday. And this is the 13th of April, 2021, 8:25 a.m. Central Time. Well, as you can see, you've got a pretty mixed market in stocks. You've been all over the board, and I'll get to the reasons for that in a minute. We did get the CPI numbers. We have a statement out of the CDC and the FDA. They impacted the J&J vaccine. I'll get to that. The CPI numbers did lift as they came out. Both the silver, the gold, and the copper markets. The dollar actually fell on the news, and you got a bit of a bounce in the euro. At the same time, you've been up this morning a little bit here in the energies. Bonds and notes stable after the CPI, and we got retail sales this morning out of some of the Red Book numbers. And you can see grains are getting a bit of a bid. In anticipation of the Coinbase IPO tomorrow on the NASDAQ, up another $3,000 in Bitcoin. And by the way, in May, there is a mini Bitcoin coming out on the CME that is 1/10 the size of this. So that would be what would that be? $6,349 to give you an idea per coin. And we'll find out how many coins make that up. I'll give you all the information shortly on that. But as I said, there's information galore today. The CDC and the FDA both recommended a pause. The key word here is pause in the use of the J&J vaccine due to some cases of negative reaction. 6 women between the ages of 18 and 48 had very severe reactions. 1 died, 1's in critical care. They've given 6,800,000 doses so far. 6 people, they've had this reaction. I predict that the market will say, all right, there's a risk, but it's worth the reward, and they'll let this continue on. We'll see. The Biden administration, couldn't have been 3 minutes ago or so, came out and said that even with this, the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines will make up any shortfall, and they believe that anyone that wants a vaccine by May, all the vaccines they'll need will be there. The U.S. CPI numbers, this is what the market had made a story about, and it is a little hotter. It came in month over month, up 0.6. They expected it up 0.5. Core, ex-food and energy CPI came in at up 0.3. That's 50% greater than what it had been, and the month before it was double the prior month. Energy prices were up 1.1% more than the prior month. So you're seeing inflation here. You're not seeing it in food. If you look at that, you're not going to see it. But it's a good number because it's getting the Fed where they want. They think that we get that. And it's backed up with this. The retail sales, we'd watched 2 weeks in a row where the Red Book sales were dropping double digit. Here's your first big time where the market is coming back in a big way. Why? Well, those COVID checks went out, and that's the reason why. And now people are out there spending. We talked about that, and that's where you're at. Chinese economic data, by any numbers, these are just staggering. What does it mean? It means that basically the exports they did were 10% less than the forecast and 13% greater on the imports, and their trade surplus fell. Remember, other countries are coming online now, so we'll see what happens. Germany's ZEW Research Institute saw that its expectations index fell rather sharply, a 10% drop, down to 70.7 from 76.6 in March. Why? COVID, all that related to it. So when you look at what you've got now, the initial reaction has been inflationary. You're seeing that in the gold and the silver market. The stock indices, they're just still overbought, but they've gone up for highs and they've come back off the break low, off the Moderna, and that's what broke the market in there initially. The dollar sitting here saying, okay, I'm not getting a reaction out of the bonds and notes that's very much, and if I'm not going to get the reaction off of that, maybe there's nowhere to really go in this market. Maybe we're just plateaued in interest rates. You might want to take a look at this report that I've got coming up now. I'm Ira Epstein. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.